Hello, everyone. Today is Sunday, December 7th, 2025 at 9:20 a.m. in the morning. Well, I wish I could excuse me, I wish I could get to live stream, but you know, I can't because of the stalkers and the harassment and abuse and everything. So, well, excuse me, yesterday someone sent me, enough funds to help. I had partial help from the night before, you know, and if I didn't need a deposit, I could have had help. I could have had the hotel the night before, probably. But this weekend, they kept changing the prices around a whole lot. Like, if the hotel might be one price, you know, maybe about 5 o'clock in the evening, and then you refresh the page like maybe 4 hours later, 9 o'clock, it's a different price. This weekend has been like weird like that. But so I had to keep checking. Excuse me. But so today is Sunday, so the price is probably gonna go back down some. Especially like Monday through Wednesday, the prices are the lowest. But it's like when it comes to traveling or whatever, I'm not traveling, but like hotels and Greyhound bus. I don't know how Greyhound is now, but it used to be that excuse me, Greyhound bus used to be cheaper Monday through Wednesday, and especially Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then it'd be more expensive like on the weekends. And that's kind of like how hotels are with the prices and stuff. But rental cars, they used to be more expensive during the weekdays and then cheaper on the weekends, and you get special deals, you know. Excuse me. But well, I'm not in a position to rent any car because of being homeless. But anyway, yesterday I couldn't really do much video because it was cold outside. And if I do a video in the bathroom or whatever, it's like I'm by myself, and I try to keep it quick, like above 3 minutes, because I want it to be like a regular video and not a shorts video. So I try to make it between 3 and 5 minutes. Because it seems like I don't know, sometimes with the shorts videos, it seems like my shorts videos get buried. But if it's a regular video, people are more likely to see it. But you know, but other times I thought that there was a point in time when YouTube, for a brief moment, was give everybody like a chance for, like, if they do a shorts video and the video would kind of blow up. But yeah, I don't know, but excuse me. So that's why I try to make it long, at least 3 minutes, or long enough to be a regular video. But then I try to not stay long, because it's in the bathroom, and I just try to have a quick place where I can have some privacy. Trying to have some privacy. Come on, man, they're doing noise harassment. Excuse me, they're doing some fake stumping and thumping. So, but I have my MP3 player on the charger right now, and that's why I don't have my earbuds in right at the moment. So, excuse me, I'm trying to make sure the MP3 player is fully charged before getting out of here, because I just have one night, then I have to go back out on the streets. So yeah, Well, I did do a regular video about, the times I tried to use the bathroom and couldn't. And I was surprised that, I was able to make it to the bathroom. I think I may have gotten like a couple of drops of urine on the floor, but I sanitized and cleaned it off. But I'm glad it wasn't a full, me being with them urinating me and forcing me to pee on myself completely. But to be forced to hold my urine for like 4 hours. No, I think it was 4.5 hours, you know, because in the middle of the night, early yesterday morning, before going downtown, I'm sorry, before leaving downtown to go across the river, like I went to a restaurant downtown that was open in the middle of the night. Excuse me, and I got me like a burger, a simple burger and fries, because I didn't want to spend much of my money because of trying to save whatever, so I won't so it'd be less I have to ask for hotel nights. So I went to this restaurant, and I went to the restaurant, and because like wait, Friday night, right? Friday night, I forgot where I ate for dinner, but I ate somewhere Friday for dinner. Oh, I think I remember where I was. Yeah. And it's like I tried to use the bathroom, and they said the bathroom wasn't working, so I went to another restaurant, and and bought me something to drink, and all I had time to do was pee, but I had to doo-doo. I'm sorry for TMI. I had to doo-doo also, and see, they keep making thumping noises. Excuse me. And it was very quiet before I started the video. It was very quiet before I started the video. So, see, they're trying to distract me. So I was, like immediately after I went to go pee at the other restaurant, I bought me a drink. And like I bought me a drink and then went to go use the bathroom. And I didn't have the time to doodle. All I had the time was pee. And then I was trying to raise funds. Like I got back across the river and was trying to raise funds. Y'all hear that? All that noise? All that thumping and banging? Excuse me. So, yeah, Friday, was it Friday night? It was really bad. The stalkers nearly succeeded at trying to get me wrongfully banned by the aquarium, and they didn't want me asking for help, and they would do this everywhere I go. So people think that, if you get away from the aquarium and go live stream somewhere else, the stalker's not gonna mess with you. That's not true, because they do this everywhere. They disrupt, and so I was forced to hold my doo-doo in, because I would have missed that last bus. Excuse me, Friday. But if at the other place where I was at, if I would have got to use the bathroom, then I wouldn't have to worry about having to doo-doo, or later on, or I wouldn't have to worry about spending more money at another restaurant just to use the bathroom or whatever. But anyway, so in the middle of the night, I went to a restaurant. Probably like, well, I left from by the aquarium area by like 1:40 in the morning on early Saturday morning, yesterday morning, and then my bags were kind of heavy, and they had a lot of heavy gang stalking that I may have gotten a few pictures, and it was trying to rain and stuff. And so I went to this restaurant to try to get out of the rain and cold, and it was like, well, I received my meal at about 2:50 in the morning, and it was like just a simple burger and fries. I mean, no, it wasn't burger and fries. It was a burger and potato salad. That's what it was. It was a burger and potato salad, cheeseburger and potato salad. I didn't order a drink or nothing like that. We trying to keep things to a minimum. You know, and and so because of what happened, at the that Waffle House, excuse me, I was afraid to ask um the worker. They probably wouldn't let me stay, but I was afraid to ask him, is it okay if I stay, until like 5 or 6. I mean, not 6, but like 5 o'clock. So I just, left when I was done, about just before 4 o'clock. I was able to finally use the bathroom and have like something to eat, and finally use the bathroom. And then I mean, I got water, but I didn't get buy anything to drink, and the total of my food cost like $13 and something. And then I ran. Well, I don't know if I ran or walked really fast, rushing to excuse me, get the Algiers bus. And so the Algiers bus came a little bit later, like a few minutes later than scheduled. It's like the majority of the New Orleans and the Jefferson Parish buses, it seems like a lot of times they don't even be like on time. Like, it's like you don't really have a reason to be late if it's your first route and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Why the hell are you 10 minutes? Why the hell you arriving 10 minutes late? Because you ghetto narcissistically fake playing. Playing around and stuff. Excuse me. It's like if they're lollygagging and playing around and talking to their favorite fake passengers that they know and that they're fake friendly with, and gossiping with and all that, and then they just lollygagging and playing around and come when they feel like it. And so the bus came a few minutes late, and it started to rain. And then I got on the bus, rode the bus, go across the river, and I sat at the bus terminal for a few hours. And then so I used the bathroom probably like 3:45 in the morning or whatever, before leaving the restaurant. And then after I got off the bus, like maybe 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Well, it was like maybe 4:20 I got off the bus. And then 4:30 or 5 o'clock I had to use the bathroom again. And excuse me. Well, I couldn't go back to that Waffle House again because of the way I was treated. And guess what? The fake manager, the fake overnight manager or whatever, I know he's younger than me, and he's like immature, but then try to be narcissistic and bossy at the same time. And I saw him riding the transit bus on Friday evening. Like, the incident happened Friday morning, the way he treated me or whatever. And then I saw him on the bus Friday evening, and he was trying to hogging up 2 seats and refused to move his big, huge bag, and perping with the fake red Santa Claus hat, and that same fake Santa Claus hat that he had, and I was only able to get like a picture of the side of his face, so So for them to narcissistically abuse and gang stalk at the same time, like wow, you I mean, so if you how are you a manager at a restaurant but you taking a doggone bus and you think you're better than me? Excuse me, if you're such a big and bad manager, where's your freaking car? Oh, because you fake riding the bus to gang stalk me and try to fake remind me about the incident earlier by making your fake presence known. That's what that is. Because I don't recall riding the buses with him before. Maybe I just don't remember, you know. But but when he saw that I was a customer and got me something to eat in the middle of the night, and I did not have breakfast later on that day. That was my breakfast. You know. So yesterday I was not going to try to go and buy me something to eat and get Waffle House again because of the way I was treated. I mean, and if I would have gone to Waffle House, I probably would have got me like maybe just something to drink or something small, and so I could have used the bathroom. But no, I was forced to hold my urine all this time, and my bags were so heavy and it was raining. Like I showed video of it raining yesterday in the morning too. And when I walk under the bridge, it's slippery and they have all that mud, and where I end up being trapped and stuck under. So like, do not walk under the bridge if it's raining or after the rain in Gretna on the expressway, because it's like you will either slip or get stuck. I'm that's a note to me trying to tell myself, note to self, but but my bags were too heavy and stuff for me to go and walk over to Starbucks. And the way that they treated me the last time made me not want to go back over there, Excuse me. But the location in New Orleans, downtown, if they open at 4:30, Starbucks, they open at 4:30, but they don't open. They're connected with other buildings, so you can't go use the bathroom till like after 6 or 6 o'clock or 6:30 in the morning. So I didn't know that after I got across the river, then I was gonna have to use the bathroom again. So like since 4:30 or 5 o'clock, I had to use the bathroom. Excuse me. It's the weekend, so the buses, like one of the buses I was supposed to have taken at it was 6 something, I don't remember, and it was 7 something. No, it was like 7:05 in the morning. I was supposed to have taken that bus, but I missed it because I could have gone to fake Walmart, to maybe buy a cheap drink or maybe a cheap bag of chips or something and then use the bathroom. And I missed the bus. So I took the other bus 40 or 45 minutes later, and I almost missed that bus. And, I tried to go to a couple of different places across from the library to use the bathroom, because I tried to go to Subway, but they say they open at 8 o'clock, but it was 8:10 and the doors were still locked, and there was a guy there that was putting food out and he refused to open the door. So, and I couldn't go to that location of PJ's Coffee because of, the issues that I had there and stuff. I couldn't go there. They gang stalked me out of that place, and I don't even know if I'm wrongfully banned from that location of PJ's Coffee, but they treated me bad enough that I got tired of being treated with abuse from young ass kids every day. And then the manager was looking for a problem with me too. Kept picking on me, just looking for stuff, you know. So, you don't want my business, then fine, to go there every day and be treated like I'm not welcome. And at the Harvey location of Starbucks on Manhattan, they have treated me with the same abuse. When I walk in, I'm the only one who they like frown, pretend to fake frown or have their face twisted up mad or act frustrated or annoyed whenever I walk up in there. And then when everybody else comes in there, their eyes light up and they're perked up and like, hello, welcome in, or good morning, welcome in. I'm the only one who doesn't get told that. And I'm like, is this a coincidence or they're doing this deliberately every day? Like, for me to go to Starbucks and that location of PJ's Coffee, and then some of the people that I would see at PJ's Coffee, then I started seeing them at that location of Starbucks. So, if I was homeless, I'm sorry, if I was not homeless, I'm sorry, that's my sleep deprivation. If I was not homeless, then I probably wouldn't really be going to like these coffee places and stuff like that. Like certain places I would not go if I was not homeless. But I'm not against coffee shops or nothing, but I know that when I was living in Los Angeles, I had a place to live, but the only way if I would go to Starbucks close to USC campus was when the campus would be closed, and I would go to the campus to use the Wi-Fi and do my Illuminati and New World Order research and stuff. I would bring my laptop and stuff, when I had one, and or if they were closed, I would go to the Starbucks. But I wasn't even like, I went because I had no other choice, but other than that, on a normal day, I wouldn't even be the type to really go to Starbucks or this coffee place or that coffee place or eat at this bar or that bar or whatever. Like when I was in Pensacola, Florida, downtown, almost every restaurant was like a restaurant and bar. And for me to be homeless and have no choice because I was homeless, and that was all I was able to go to. And the online stalkers will harass me and say, "Oh, look, Candy's a fake Christian. If she was a Christian, she would have no business going into no bar or whatever." But it would be like a restaurant and bar, and some of them they would close like 9 o'clock anyway. So, but they just looking for stuff to pick with or harass or whatever, My fingers on my left hand trying to go numb with me holding my phone. So, but I hear a loud vehicle. But yeah. So I wouldn't even go to the bars and drink or whatever, but those would be the only places that would be open for me to be able to charge my phone and have something to eat and use the bathroom or whatever. Excuse me. And some of the bars that would close at like 2 o'clock in the morning, they would try to force you to buy something alcoholic, and they wouldn't let you buy a soda or a fruit juice or nothing like that. They would try to force you to buy an alcoholic drink, or else they would refuse you service. But I wouldn't buy the alcohol. I would just, try to go find another restaurant or something, But but it's like, yeah. But anyway, well, here in New Orleans, I try as best as I can to avoid Bourbon Street in the French Quarter unless absolutely necessary, you know. But I try to go on the other side, on the opposite side of Canal Street, like towards, Poydras and that side, not the French Quarter, like, and the Poydras side a lot of the times is more laid back and quiet than the chaos of Canal Street and the French Quarter and all, But downtown Pensacola, Florida is kind of like a miniature version of downtown New Orleans, pretty much. Kind of reminds me of a miniature version. Like they even have a fake place called Seville Quarter, and I used to work there, and they would serve New Orleans food, and the food wasn't even good. Like people said that they need to stop it because they don't even know how to do gumbo right. They would make gumbo at Seville Quarter in Pensacola. They would make gumbo, and the gravy would be way too thick. Like it would be more like a thicker than the average stew, and then be dark and too salty. You know, and the beignets didn't even taste good. Like nothing that they tried for New Orleans really tasted good, but they had some good oysters though. When I used to work at Seville Quarter, but their workplace mobbed me off that job, and I worked for like 2.5 months there. You know, so in my first night of working, I think I worked, I don't remember if it was 12 or 15 hours, and I was street homeless. And I was homeless on the streets pretty much the entire time working at Seville Quarter. And I only occasionally got hotel help. And one time I got really sick, and the managers threatened to fire me. They wanted to fire me because I was sick and not feeling well. You know, and they thought, and I don't know, the stalkers might have called the managers and told them, oh, Candy's in the hotel or whatever. But I was trying to rest up. I think I had gotten my first paycheck, so that's how I was probably able to get a hotel night, or I think I had 2 nights. And I called in sick because I really was not, I really was sick, you know. And as soon as I told them, called, and they weren't even answering their phones, and I tried to call them and tell them I was sick, and right then they threatened to fire me. And I forgot what you know but I probably was sick for at least a whole week or whatever. But I guess after that day or two, I ended up being forced to go to work sick and not feeling well. I think I had a worse than a bad cold or something, but I was really sick. Excuse me. But anyway, so back to yesterday. So I was forced to have to hold my urine in until the library opened, and I was like, wow, it's like the Danny person, he didn't even open the doors until like a few minutes later, and it's like he walked opposite of where I was and opened the doors on the opposite side, because usually everybody starts on the other side. And then it seemed like he unlocked the door and was about to just continuing to unlock the door without opening the door for me, like they usually do, like everybody else usually do. If they unlock the door and they see someone standing there, they will open the door for you. But it seemed like he almost acted like as if he didn't even want to open the door for me, Excuse me. And then I had to pee so bad that I couldn't carry my bags. I just left them out there for a quick few minutes, and I had hurried up and ran to the bathroom and almost didn't make it, but I barely made it. And I finally was able to use the bathroom, and excuse me. So then, I had already started like before the library opened. I was, trying to upload videos and upload this, upload that, and so I got a head start. So, um, but you know, so then I went to the table, and I'm glad it was the nice janitor yesterday. The nice janitor was working yesterday. So and then like it was like I think I didn't get to fall asleep until like after 10 o'clock, and I think I slept for like up until like 2:20 in the afternoon. It's like I guess almost 4.5 hours, and I usually don't get to sleep that long. So, and I was drooling. I didn't even realize sleeping so hard I was drooling a lot, and the drool, it smelled bad, you know. Excuse me, stunk up all my clothes and stuff, you know. And then yesterday, I ended up receiving enough funds for the deposit plus the hotel, so I didn't get to leave until like about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then get the hotel. And you know, let me see what time it is. All right, it's 9:52 in the morning. So they had certain other things that happened. Um, Even like within the past week, certain little stuff that happened that I forgot to document on, like whether it was narcissistic abuse or being treated mean or gang stalking or whatever, you know, certain things I didn't get to really talk about, even if it's small incidents, you know. Um, excuse me, but I realized there are a lot of mean people here here in New Orleans that are not nice. You know, so excuse me, but yeah, but yesterday afternoon, you know, I had I had checked in and gotten the room, and I was having a problem with something. So I excuse me, I was having a problem with something, and so then I you know, well, I had more than one problem yesterday. So I went to try to order. I was gonna go in person to go get me something to eat, but it was extremely cold outside. It was too cold for me to go back outside. It got even colder, so it felt like too cold for me to go back outside. Excuse me, but then it was too cold for me to go back outside. So, and then I was physically exhausted and tired, and I had to use the bathroom again. Like I used the bathroom before leaving the library, and then by the time I got on the bus, I had to go again. I just left the library. I just used the bathroom, But then I had to drink. I had a bottle of water, also, Excuse me, but they had someone that made a YouTube comment, a perp comment on YouTube that said, yesterday the perp tried to make a fake smart ass comment on YouTube and say, "Oh, you surely like to use the, you surely have to use the bathroom a lot." You know, it's like I don't always have to use the bathroom, but um, the swelling in my legs from being forced to be homeless and outside and stuff, the swelling in my legs, and the gang stalkers doing the forced urination tactic on me and stuff, So, but I was upset about one thing, and then another thing, I had another issue that I tried to order something buy one get one free on DoorDash, and the restaurant did not have, like, I tried to order like some chicken that was a piece of chicken that was buy one get one free for $8. It was, well, you could have got it two for $8, like two pieces of the leg quarters for $8, and they didn't have it. So I ordered like the two pieces of chicken and some macaroni and cheese and some like mixed vegetables. I try to, make myself eat healthier, you know. And as soon as I ordered it, they said that they did not have the buy one get one free chicken. So like I didn't want to eat just macaroni and cheese and the vegetables. Like I needed some protein. So I canceled the whole order, and DoorDash gave me $3 back, and then they said that the rest of the money was going on my card. And I'm like, wait a minute, how come they didn't give me the option to how come they didn't give me the option on whether or not I wanted DoorDash credits to be used immediately? I'm like, they're telling me I have to wait 5 to 7 business days. I'm like, well, that's all I have. I almost didn't get to eat dinner last night, So I tried to get customer service and ask them why, how come they didn't give me the option of, they didn't give me the option to choose like they usually do, like whether it be that or, even with Uber Eats, if they cancel, if you have a moment where if they don't have what you need or what you're trying to get, usually they give you the option if you want it back on your debit card to be in the next 5 to 7 business days, or if you want it to be either that, or if you want it to be used for DoorDash or Uber Eats credit or whatever immediately, But like they didn't give me the option. So I'm like, well, wow. So I almost didn't get to eat, but they gave me back a few more dollars in credits, I guess for the inconvenience, and it's like, after they gave me back the credits, all I was able to order was Wendy's. And I didn't even want to order Wendy's. I had already had a burger earlier that day, and I'd be trying to stay away from Illuminati fake fast food and stuff. So, but I'm glad the DoorDasher was really nice, and she said that they had protesting going on. Well, I guess the protesting with the ICE and all that, but it's like, yeah, they had protesting with the ICE or whatever, and one man was saying that the protesters that they're not even from New Orleans, they're not even from Louisiana, that they're paid professional protesters from out of state, and that they do that for a living, and they won't get a real job. That's what the man told me. But that man, he sounded like he was awakened to the truth. But his wife was purple with a red scarf, and she seemed like she was either foreign or Hispanic. I'm not sure. She could have been European or whatever, but she had a foreign accent. But she seemed like narcissistic and controlling or whatever, But it's like, and she was asking me nosy questions, you know. But I saw a few other perps here and there. Excuse me. But I finally got my Wendy's, and my food was not hot. It was like room temperature. But I know the DoorDash driver, it wasn't her fault, and she tried the best she could. I did not want to have no doggone Wendy's last night. But I'm glad I got to have something. But I felt bad, eating that or whatever. But see, that's where it comes in, where the stalkers will try to talk about, look at Candy being ungrateful. But if I were to go to Wendy's on my own and eat, then they would say, oh, look, she's eating unhealthy. She deserved heart attack and diabetes. But that's the kind of games that they play. So, but so yeah, it took me like a few hours for me to, and I try to contact DoorDash customer service, and the first customer service rep that I talked to, she prematurely ended the chat, and then tried to talk about that I was taking too long to respond, when I was actually like, she didn't even give me 30 seconds to type out what I needed to type out, and she ended the chat, and I tried to renew or restart the chat, and she kept canceling the chat on me, and that upset me. Excuse me, that upset me, that she kept repeatedly canceling the chat on me, when, wait a minute, how am I taking too long? You gave me not even 30 seconds to respond to you when I was trying to ask for clarification on something. So basically, DoorDash said that, when a merchant, when they are out of stock or something, they put money back on your card. So wait a minute, they could refund you back on your card, but they can't give you credits back. I'm like, well, I don't know if they changed the policy, because any other time that they would have let me, they would have they would have gave me the option to choose if I wanted on DoorDash credits to be used immediately, or if I wanted to put it back on a debit card. Well, thankfully, I woke up this morning, and it's like they made it like as if I was never they gave me my money back this morning. So thankfully, I did not have to wait 5 to 7 business days. So and at one point they were trying to tell me I even had to wait 10 days to get the money back. So eventually I got the money back. I woke up this morning, I got the money back, And so if that's the case, then I'm covered for dinner tonight. I don't have to worry about asking for funds for dinner tonight, but I need help with hotel for tonight. Excuse me, and after I check out of here, I don't know how fast or how soon if I would get, I don't know how fast or how soon I would get the deposit back, But if I were to get the deposit back today, then I could just ask for help for funds for a hotel room, and not necessarily, I would already have the money for a deposit, you know, and I would just have the actual funds for a room. And tomorrow night and Tuesday it's supposed to be crazy cold, like in the 40s, in the 40 something degree. Hold on, y'all, I have to use the bathroom. All right, I'm back. So, but yeah, I hate when I use the bathroom and then I lose my train of thought and forget what I was just talking about, you know. Excuse me. So, basically in Pensacola, Florida, I had ran out of options of where I could go, and they gang stalked me away from down. Well, Pensacola, Florida is much smaller than here in New Orleans. I don't care what nobody say, you know. But so you know, they gang stalked me away from downtown Pensacola. This fake group with the fake Richard Terrell. I don't know if it's pronounced Richard Terrell or Richard Terrell. You know, him and his fake perp family, you know, excuse me, they were in cahoots with the Pensacola police to that they gang stalked me out of downtown Pensacola, Florida. You know, and they have so many people that try to suggest, oh, why don't you live in this abandoned house and why don't you stay there? And you know, well, I never lived inside of an abandoned house as a homeless person, but I have heard of homeless people staying in abandoned houses and they never went to jail for it. So, like, you know, with the incident that happened last year, I did not enter inside of that house. The online stalkers called and lied and said that they owned that house where I got wrongfully arrested at. Excuse me. And I saw in Pensacola, Florida, they had homeless people staying by brand new houses that's there for sale, and they would sleep there and the cops never mess with them. I mean, they had a police officer that told me to stay by an abandoned bank that was for sale. I mean, they had a for sale sign. You know. But they have certain homeless people that stay by certain places of business that are in operation. And they sleep there. And then overnight, they sleep there overnight and then try to leave the building by like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And the homeless people that have decency, you know, they don't leave trash behind or whatever, you know, but the homeless druggies that, you know, that don't have decency, you know, they'll trash up the whole place or whatever, you know. Excuse me. You know, but I used to be able to have homeless sleep spots in Pensacola where, you know, I could have a sleeping bag and lay down my sleeping bag and then hide my sleeping bag behind a tree or somewhere, you know, throughout the day, and then I could get it at night. Excuse me. But if a gang stalker or a homeless druggie purpose stalking and watching you, you know, eventually they'll come and steal your sleeping bag. You know. But I used to be able to have like I used to be able to go to UWF campus and put some of my stuff in a locker there, and I had a regular storage unit, but it was kind of out of the way, the storage unit. And I would have like a personal stash to stash certain things like behind a tree or behind bushes or whatever overnight. Excuse me. Here in New Orleans, it's much bigger and it's structured different, and I can't get to live like that, you know. But it was hard it's hard to get a PO box and it's hard to get a storage unit as a homeless person and after you're already homeless. And if you're homeless, you cannot rent a car. They won't let you have a job. It's hard to try to get back on your feet with trying to get housing again. Unless you pretty much sell out with the homeless shelter system and sell your soul or whatever. Oh, then you got it made now. You know, if you kiss ass, you know. But if you can't be programmed in mind control with the fake homeless shelter, mind control, whatever, witchcraft or whatever, the cult mentality, if you don't fit in or if you question them, then you get wrongfully kicked out and banned. You know, if you question their weirdness and their crookedness, you get permanently wrongfully kicked out and banned. You know, and they have had certain homeless people here in New Orleans that said that they said that they would rather live out in the elements than to live, you know, in the shelters and stuff. And in New York, I question why, you know, certain people, it was snow outside, and they says homeless shelters is not for everybody, you know, with their New York accent or whatever. In Los Angeles, certain people said that they would rather be on the streets than to be in the shelters because they said that it was PTSD. They had PTSD from being in prison, and they said that the homeless shelters reminded them too much of prison, so they couldn't. That's why they couldn't go to shelters, you know. And like, yeah, when the Gretna jail, it reminds you of how they structure things in the homeless shelter. Except, you know, they're in police uniform or whatever, the jail guards working for the Jefferson Parish Sheriff Department or whatever, you know. And it's like the bunk beds and the little bathroom and shower, communal, tiny little bathroom and shower or whatever. And they're very controlling when you can use the bathroom, take a shower, you know, and they won't let you wash your hands. Stuff like, yeah, it's like you're paying to live in jail. It's frightening with these shelters, you know. And certain people say shelters be like concentration camps and stuff, you know. So the shelter is not what people think. So, and yesterday, because I mentioned gym in my video, that about that lady telling me it was a private gym, that's when this Japanese person tried to narcissistically fake suggest that I do this and do that and go get a gym membership, and they gave that person 8 thumbs up. And it's like, how you gonna tell me what to do? You don't even know my situation. Trying to think you sound fake smart. Get out of here. You're in a whole different country. You don't tell me what to do. You know, I can't do gym memberships because I don't, like, they try to manipulate and trap you financially and take all your money and stuff. And I don't want gyms acting like they think, like, I have nothing now on my bank account where it would be automatic withdrawal every month. And so, and then so that, you know how gyms operate. So when I was going to the YMCA downtown, you know, Pensacola, Florida, downtown Pensacola, Florida, not here in New Orleans. I think they got a YMCA uptown, but I got wrongfully kicked out of and banned from the YMCA downtown Pensacola, not once, but twice. The first time I got wrongfully kicked out and fired from the job and banned because this light-skinned lady named Miss D, she lied on me and she tried to pick a fight with me or whatever. Excuse me, it was 2 days after me and my twin sister's birthday back in 2019, and it was a gang stalker setup. And that lady, Miss Vanessa, she got compromised. That lady, Miss Vanessa, used to love me. She used to have my back. The manager, Miss Vanessa, you know. in downtown Pensacola, Florida, and she tried to talk about me and my behavior and that it was scary when they were attacking me. And when she was talking about what she overheard about me, the gang stalking was really heavy at the downtown Pensacola YMCA. And then my Psych World channel back in 2019, Star Bricker took an old video of me talking about YMCA having Masonic connections, and she took that old video and that video of me talking about the YMCA having Masonic connections. It was December, and she took a video from June of 2019 to wrongfully get my channel, my first Psych World channel from back in 2019. She got that YouTube channel wrongfully permanently shut down. All because I spoke against when I did a video saying that YMCA has Masonic connections, that I researched that. Excuse me, I did a video on it, and she got that channel wrongfully shut down. And now YouTube is saying that I'll never get that channel back. But then other people, they're getting their old YouTube channels back. But they even said my twin sister got her YouTube channels back. And y'all saw what she did. Excuse me, So... my anxiety is really high right now. Yeah. I just checked my it seemed like this morning my MP3 player battery was about to die. So let me check and see. Hold up. Wow, so the MP3 player is still charging. Excuse me. I know I've been charging it for, I think, over an hour or about an hour by now. Because, like, when I first got it, it would take 40 minutes to fully charge, But, yeah, I didn't charge it yesterday at all. Because, I knew I was coming here. And I thought I was going to get to charge it. But, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if and the second time I got wrongfully, banned from the YMCA, excuse me, it was a different reason. It seemed like they secretly installed, like, how can a man tell a woman everything she's doing in a private shower? So I heard that was highly illegal for the YMCA staff, especially male staff, to tell you, like, basically he was trying to, that Corey guy, the abusive, narcissistic, fake Corey guy, and I heard Corey was his middle name, but I forgot what his first and last name was. Excuse me, but that Corey guy, the one who he abuses disabled people, well, I think that he had to have put security cameras in the bathroom, in the private bathroom where he know I would go in. Because how was he not in the bathroom but able to tell me everything I was doing in the bathroom? And then there were certain other things that they would do that I can't talk about. But he was, and so it seemed like he was able to try to tell everything I was doing in the bathroom like with me taking a shower and hand washing my clothes and stuff like that. I didn't have any other way to get my laundry done or get clean clothes, so I would try to hand wash my clothes. Like, how he knew I was hand washing my clothes in the bathroom? And like for him to tell every minute little detail of like me washing myself, brush my teeth, and doing my hair, do this, do that, put my clothes on this way and that way. Like how he was able to tell all of that. Like it seemed like as if he illegally had hidden cameras installed in the bathroom to watch me. And he was abusive and highly narcissistic, and he would be abusive and exploitative towards the disabled people that work there. That's the guy who would narcissistically brag about all the people he's fired, and then the people who he claimed to have fired was people that was disabled with special needs. And that YMCA downtown Pensacola, they were corrupt. And Alex Dupree used to gang stalk me at that location. But I used to like the facility. I just didn't like the people working there. Excuse me. And they would harass, and mess with me and trying to get in my business, and kept trying to get me wrongfully kicked out and banned. And then, well, they didn't succeed, but they kept trying at the that place in what's that place called, UWF campus by their pool. I started going there, but I like the hot tub and the sauna at UWF campus. But if I try to go in a sauna, they would have gang stalkers that would do noise harassment and noise campaign, and I can't get any peace or quiet. But I used to like the steam room and the water slide at the YMCA downtown, but I mean they had a sauna there too. But I used to like the steam room and the water slide, and on UWF campus I liked that they had the diving board and and I like the hot tub and the sauna, and I like the showers over there, Excuse me. But the stalkers, they were trying to get me, in-person stalkers, trying to set up to try to get me wrongfully kicked out and banned, And they had a perp that was nosy, narcissistic, nosy, and always in my business. And she would be trying to, demand. A lot of the women try to demand an answer for why my locker was so full, and because they knew I was homeless, even though I paid the membership just like they did, they kept trying to tattle on me, and trying to get me wrongfully kicked out and banned, and then. They would try to go and nitpick and try to constantly run to the pool manager and tell her Candy has this in her locker and she has that in her locker and this and that and whatever. And they manipulated that lady, the manager, to think certain things about me, where that lady ended up not liking me. Excuse me. And then one time, the reason why that was done, like I had other reasons why I left Pensacola too, like the fake Richard Terrell perp, and everybody, like they gang stalked me out of downtown Pensacola. So then I tried to stay by this abandoned or vacant, it was an old bookstore near the campus, and fake Damnesia prank called the cops and lied and said that he was the owner and did not want me there. And the cops believed his lies. And I have video of the cops harassing me. That he illegally swatted me and sent the cops to harass me. I think that's the first time fake Damnesia himself has actually swatted me. And it's like, that would be odd, like, for the fact, and then he went and harassed me on social media, and before I even found out that it was him that did that, he said, yeah, I called and lied and said that I was the owner and this and that, whatever, and, and that I didn't want you there. And I heard that could be, like, rack up criminal charges on when people are illegally swatting you and stuff, and so it's like a lot of things forced to where I couldn't be homeless in Pensacola no more. So I thought I had another chance to try to see what it's like to get to be finally, I wanted to see what it was like to live in Pensacola. Well, I didn't have a good experience. I was waiting for 4.5 years to try to, get a place to live in Pensacola, and I had to wait that long on a housing list. So it's like any place I get now, like, due to the gang stalking, if I try to get a permanent place to live, I don't get to last a month there because of the harassment and gang stalking. Unless it's a moment where you have a landlord or whatever that's gonna trap you and make you and force you to stay there for locked in a lease and stay there for a whole year. Or if they try to get you wrongfully evicted and stuff. I had never been officially evicted from anywhere, but the stalkers have tried. Excuse me. When I was living in New Orleans Towers and Algiers, my first place on my own, back in 2003, it was November 5th, 2003, I moved in there. And it's like less than a week later, I was ganged up on and bullied and stalked and harassed. And I was having problems, with being gang stalked and didn't know what was going on. And within a week, they were already talking about evicting me and stuff. And it's like, wow, I barely was able to get food stamps set up or get this set up or get that set up or nothing, Excuse me. So, but, yeah. So, I'm trying to keep a note of the time. I wish I would. As I said, I wish I could be live streaming, and in the long run, I could, be earning more money through live streaming. Now I see people who live stream for like 10 or 11 hours straight. If their live stream session is like 10 hours or 11 hours, but it would be easier if I could stay in a cheap motel that's $60, like the Siesta Motel in Marrero. I'm wrongfully banned from there because the stalkers lied on me, and I basically got banned from there for no reason, pretty much, And the black female that worked there, she said it's because of your YouTube videos, So she and I don't even think I was live streaming there. I think I just did regular videos. I don't remember. But she said it's because of your YouTube videos. And she kept hanging up in my face and ignoring my calls when, I tried to, but that place would have been like, $60 a night or $420 a week, plus an extra like $10 key deposit. So even, so 420 times 2, let's see. That's like 840. And whatever 840 times 2 is, what's 84 times 2? So that would probably have been like $1,680 for like 28 days. So if I was getting $4,000 a month from YouTube, or something, you know. um I probably could have had it made and not have to ask for nothing, you know. But the stalkers, they sabotage and shut down everything I try to get. Now, there are not a lot of people, but there were some people who falsely assume that, well, the online stalkers, they'll have their own false narrative, and they are malicious with their lies. And y'all who were in my live stream on Friday, y'all saw the stalkers, kept calling and trying to tell lies, trying to get me wrongfully banned from by the aquarium. But there'll be times when I'm just sitting there quiet, minding my business, not live streaming, not uploading any videos, not doing anything. And they would just illegally swap me with the police with the fake mental health welfare check, or lying and saying I committed some crime or something, or lied and said I did this, lied and said I said that. And then afterwards, sometimes, like, the stalkers tell certain malicious and intentional lies to have me wrongfully kicked out of and straight up just banned from certain places for no reason, without any explanation. And then I get threatened with jail if I question why. What did I do? Or they don't want to discuss or tell me. And this is, I guess, part of dealing with being heavily targeted. I know I'm targeted pretty heavy and targeted pretty bad, but I never did say I was targeted the worst. A lot of times it can feel that way, But, so, like, I know the day of the court date, later on that day, like, I was upset about something and did a video rant about something. And the video wasn't about just one person. It was like about multiple people. But one person, I'm not going to try to give hints, but the stalkers, they stalk so hard, they know everything, But even on Thanksgiving Day, they had a perp from Sticky's fake cult that, falsely accused me. And I think there was another person that falsely accused me of being ungrateful about the Thanksgiving dinner. That was the free dinner that they had, all because I said that they didn't have turkey, and because I didn't like the way the peas tasted. I got attacked and condemned and falsely accused of being ungrateful and complaining, And I knew the stalkers would do that, So they had a fake perp. I think she came on one of my other channels because she knew she was blocked on this one. And then in her fake post, she admitted that she was stalking and watching me. Admitted that she'd been stalking and watching my videos, Excuse me. And then she tried to attack me and falsely accuse me of things I didn't do. And then at the end, trying to say, "We love you, Candy, and we care about you." Get the hell out of here. Not with your fake perp comments. Go, and I know you a perp. So you should have kept your mouth shut and mind your damn business. It ain't. This video ain't about. The video. The post that I made. It had nothing to do with you anyway. Excuse me. So. So there have been discussions, about the YouTube jewels and the YouTube AdSense payments and everything like that, Excuse me. And can I try to clarify? This probably should have been another different video, but I'm pressed for time. And this is like the only while it's fresh in my mind, this is like the only opportunity that I possibly have to talk about what's going on. So, they had a few people asking me about, So I guess I do earn money from the jewels and gifts and stuff on YouTube. Um, but if it's freezing cold, wet, and rainy on a certain night, y'all know my situation with the shelters and other things, dealing with this targeting. And I try to tell everybody that targeted homelessness is different from regular homelessness. So if you're a targeted individual and one of the goals is to make you homeless, if you're a real TI and you're homeless or whatever, your situation, your privileges, experiences and stuff, it's not the same as regular homeless people. And I did a blog post talking about how targeted homelessness is different from regular homelessness, So it's just like nobody really bothered to read it, really, except the stalkers maybe. The obsessed stalkers, except them maybe. But, as I said, I did a blog post about how when you're homeless and a targeted individual, your experiences are different from when you're a regular homeless person. So your experiences and your privileges and stuff is not the same. Like, you got less rights and less freedom being targeted than the ones that's a homeless perp. They giving more freedom and more allowance of things than you all have as a target. So, if it's like 44 degrees and slushy raining outside and I don't have anywhere to go and I have limited clothes because of stalkers stealing my bags and stuff, so thank y'all. I still appreciate, you can still send in the jewels and gifts or whatever, or super chat, super thanks if you want to. But I do get, it looks like I do get paid for that. But the YouTube AdSense, it goes all on the AdSense. The super chat, the gifts and jewels or whatever, everything goes on the AdSense. So it goes on the AdSense. And I don't get paid until, like, say, everything I'm earning here in December, I don't get paid for until, like, after December 30th. I have to wait until the following month, January, between the 21st and the 25th, because it depends on holidays and weekends or whatever. So, like, from November, whatever I earned from, and it looks like, it kind of looks like as if, the jewels and stuff, it seems like as if my YouTube check is a little bit higher. I'm not going to say how much because it's stalkers, It's a little bit higher, but the YouTube AdSense, for the jewels, gifts, and super chat, super thanks, they take out like 40% of what you earned. YouTube takes 40% of what you actually earned. And then you get like 60%. Last I knew, I think you get about 60% of it. And then, so like from November, I think December 21st, what's today? Today's the 7th, and it's a Sunday, right? So 7, 14, 21. So in 2 weeks, December 21st, that falls on a Sunday. So I won't be able to get the check until like the 23rd. Wait, hold on. Wait. No, wait. No, wait. I don't know why I thought the 23rd. All right, I might be able to get it on that Monday, the 22nd. I don't know why I was thinking I might get it on the 23rd, but No, yeah, wait, hold up. Yeah, I'm likely to get it on that Monday, the 22nd. Since it's a weekday and it's before the Christmas holiday, so I think that I'm gonna get the check on that Monday, December 22nd. You know, but as I said, I can't tell, how much I'm earning. And the stalkers, if they don't have any evidence, then they can't try to. They don't have a right, or they can't try to guess figures that they don't have any proof of. They don't. But I know I don't have $1,000. I know that much. I know I don't even have 500. I know that much. So they trying to guess, how much. Trying to guess how much. How much they. Like, it's like they try to guess a certain figure or guess a certain number, and then falsely pass it off as fact, and then use it for their smear campaigns to lie on me. So if it's like a night where it's, say for example, if it's 36 degrees outside, I'm wrongfully banned from the shelter. So if it's 36 degrees and like rainy or snow, and I'm live stream and try to ask for help, like if I try to do a regular video or a community post, people don't come through to help. But if I live stream, sometimes I might be live streaming for 4 hours and people just sitting there watching me suffer, and like they think I deserve this, a bad person who deserved this. And so, to clarify, any payments via YouTube, I don't get, and I get paid, but not until later. And a lot of times it's like me asking for help for the survival and stuff. It's like a lot of life and death situation. So people might think, oh, she's entitled, she's ungrateful, she's ungrateful, she's entitled, she's this. And that's one of the stalkers and their smear campaigns, the same ones that's trying to sex traffic and murder. So like, certain people feel offended when I say that I don't get the YouTube AdSense payment, or if you make any you could still, as I say, you could still, if you want to, send the jewels or whatever. It does help, and it helps in the long run. But certain moments is like life and death situations, like me trying to get help with funds out of the hurricane, or help with funds out of the rain or whatever, So I trying to get help with funds out of a hurricane or the rain or the snow or cold weather or whatever, Arctic freeze, Arctic blast and stuff. And so like even on Twitter, nobody talks to me really anymore. Nobody. Like where's all the people in the TI community that I could be talking to, And they've been suppressing me, and they're not letting my follower number go past 1,900. And they keep lowering the numbers of my followers on Twitter. And they've been having people in the so-called TI community that's been unfollowing and blocking me, and I don't even have many people in the TI community to talk to. And most of them, if they're going through this targeting, but they believe the same gang stalk and slander that everybody else puts out there, and it's like, well, what the slander was said about you freak out and you want support, or you need support too. So why are you acting like the stalkers by believing the slander about me? So basically the stalkers that's trying to murder me, they try to manipulate people to feel justified into thinking that I'm a bad person who's like undeserving. Okay, my MP3 player is fully charged. Hold on, let me change devices. Okay, so I got my phone back charging. Ooh, my phone battery got down to 88%. Trying to make sure both my phone and MP3 player are fully charged. I'm trying to make sure they're both fully charged by the time I walk out of here. So like when I'm live streaming, when I tell people that I don't get the AdSense, like I try to direct people to if they could donate via the Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. Well, the Ko-fi, is through my short stories and stuff like that. I try to earn a living with my writing with my short stories. But, the stalkers try to tell people to ignore my writings and don't support me and this and that, whatever. Because they're trying to murder me. They sold their soul to the devil. They're part of a satanic cult. And so, with the lie, the smear campaign about me being ungrateful, my twin sister gets that. Like, my twin sister started that lie. She started that lie on YouTube about me for revenge. Like for her to lie and say that I'm an ungrateful scammer because she lied on me because she got mad at me finding out that she's a perp and part of the cult. Part of the gang stalking cult. And she created her own personal YouTube cult against me. Excuse me, and now they have become the bigger cult called the Red Triangle cult. So, like, the fake ungrateful rumor started, well, when we were we already finished our sophomore year in high school, and the foster mom, Adrian Felder, had us going to fake IDMR, Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research cult convention it was, it was at Opryland Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. And I was still 15 years old. We had already passed the 10th grade and it was over the summer. And I think I remember, I was either that day or maybe later on a trip, I remember wearing an orange t-shirt, And I wanted to keep my hair natural. I wanted to let my hair grow natural and relaxer free. And the foster mom tried to force me to get a perm in my hair and try to narcissistically lecture me and try to yell at me, tell me that I have to look presentable and this, that, whatever, and I didn't want a freaking perm. She kept trying to force it on me against my will. I didn't want, relaxer perm in your hair, I did not want a chemical relaxer in my hair. And, because she, not physically fought, but, we had an argument because I didn't want the perm. And she got mad that, I won that battle to not let her force a perm on me and on my hair. And she got mad at me and she said, "You ungrateful son of a bitch." And so my twin sister overheard that. And so now that's where she get that lie of, it's like everything that y'all see the bullying and abuse that y'all see my twin sister doing to me on YouTube is what she picked up from, or where she got from how the foster family used to treat us. Like with her talking about Candy's wasting money or she burned her bridges. That's what the foster mom used to say about us and her too. They used to say it about her too. Well, not the burning bridges part, but But the foster mom used to yell at us and say, all of us, "Oh, you're ungrateful," this and that, whatever. So my twin sister, she need to not act like as if the foster mom never called her ungrateful before. The foster mom used to call all of us ungrateful, But the foster mom used to, like for Christmas or whatever, she would get us what she knows that we hate. And then try to call us ungrateful, playing those psychological games, But so, my twin sister picked up where the foster mom left off at with the abuse. So like back in October 2020, my twin sister started actively like before then, like August and September of 2020, she was sending flying monkeys to harass me because Star Bricker hunted down my twin sister and showed her my videos and had my twin sister to join in. When my twin sister was in the family, they were already perps anyway. But my twin sister pretended to be fake livid, you know, talking about that I should get help now, you know, and she started making fake slander videos about me and stuff. And she tried to pretend to be fake livid and say that I need mental health now, you know, and that I need to be committed to the mental institution. So, because the fake foster mom used to talk like that, telling me that I need to be committed to the mental institution. In the same way, like committed to jail or prison or something. It's like they weaponize mental health, yet don't care about me. And the way the foster and biological family members, they don't care about me and they hate me. And they urge mental health, like as if I will die without it. But they use it to weaponize me. And especially during an argument or a fight, they're like, you need some serious help. You need help. You know, every time you get into an argument with them and they're like, you're crazy, you're sick, you need help. You need to be institutionalized. Oh, you need medication, you're schizophrenic. You know, all that, you know. And so, they'll talk about me having mental issues or being mentally challenged or this and that, whatever, you know. So it all started from that. And so whenever you see like the stalkers harassing me about stuff, it's like the head person that they get it from is my twin sister. And that's why certain people try to say that my twin sister is one of my main handlers, but I don't accept that. She's a damn perp like everybody else. She ain't freaking powerful, you know. But she is her own personal cult leader against, you know, spreading false rumors about me and stuff. And the people got stuff to say about her too. Now, you know, if she, you know, if they have certain people from the fake aggressive Defiance TV cult, he is his own cult leader. And it seems like they stalk and harass both of us now because he had a feud with my twin sister for whatever reason. And she was more than glad to link up with him and smear campaign me to him on his fake show. And then, you know, she was going on his show and telling lies about me. And I don't know how he found me. And eventually they had some feud where they were arguing or whatever, and every time she'd get into an argument with him, she would get drunk, you know. So she would go out and get drunk after arguing with him, and it seemed like they're both active and participating in the cults and the witchcraft and the evil, you know. They sold their souls and everything. Excuse me. So but then, you know, so it's like the fake aggressive Defiance cult, it's like they believe every smear campaign that my twin sister said about me. But it's like, oh, when do they ever throw in her face about being a deadbeat mother? You know, who neglected her kids and stuff, you know. But they try to falsely make it like, yeah, both Candy and Brandy are a piece of shit and stuff like that. But my twin sister has told so many lies on me that people believe it. You know, so it's like, well, how come my twin sister refused to believe that I'm being targeted? Because she's doing part of doing the targeting towards me, you know. So it's like, but it's like they get their lies, their false information, and like all the stuff that you see said about me, they get it from her, you know. About, you know, she like when people say when a narcissist can't control you, they'll try to control how people see you or how people view you, you know. Excuse me. So last year, I think it was before the biological brother Wyatt passed away. Um, Someone that pretended to be a fake supporter from the fake aggressive defiance TV cult. Um, you know, I don't remember how much she donated, but it was like probably $10 or $20 or something. You know, and I was trying to get help with hotel night, probably out of the rain or something. And it's like even the fake aggressive defiance TV perp was you know, he has a house in a truck, I think, and he live streams all day and meddles in people's business all day. And it's like, how do you have a job to work if you like live streaming at least a minimum of 8 hours a day, and you stalking and harassing people? How do you have time to go to work? How do you have time to sleep? And so he say, donate and support the channel. And then he would be live streaming my live streams, and I heard that they would call that stream sniping. Or he would live stream my twin sister's live streams or whatever. Excuse me. He would refuse to have his own content, and then pretending that he's just reacting. You know, but he's doing stuff to hurt people. I mean, and exploit and hurt people and stuff like that, you know. So, you know, I don't have a permanent roof over my head, so how can I be any kind of scammer or anything? If I'm lying about being homeless, tell me where my residence is. You know, so I mean, so that was someone, I think it was a white female that believed the lies from the fake aggressive defiance TV perp, and he got those thoughts from my twin sister. You know, so she donated like $10 or $20 to the Cash App. I mean, sorry, not Cash App. I meant to say to the YouTube SuperThanks. And I said, well, I don't get the SuperThanks. I said, thank you very much, I appreciate it, but I don't get the SuperThanks until the following month on the 21st or whatever. And she got mad and called me ungrateful. And then, you know, I think she blocked me and stopped supporting me or whatever. And there were a couple of other people that falsely accused me of being ungrateful. Excuse me, because they have certain people that have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you know. So if someone might have 591,000 subscribers on YouTube, and they're doing a live stream or regular videos, and they get super thanks, super chat or whatever, and they already have an established place to live and a car and everything, so it's just extra for them. But I'm like dire survival mode, you know. Well, here in New Orleans, there are certain places, I mean, certain days where it might be like flash flooding, you know, and they would say, oh, if you walk here, if you walk there, it's dangerous or whatever, you know. But it was kind of was like that in Pensacola, Florida, too. So, you know, and some people catch me off guard and just donate to the SuperThanks without knowing, you know. So I even put in the description box of my regular videos and on the live streams and stuff, I say, you know, it's better to donate to the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and not the SuperThanks, because, but I mean, you can still donate to the SuperThanks too, and I mean, I don't get the help until, you know, the following month. I mean, I don't get the YouTube payment until the following month, and for many months, I was getting like between $100 and $200, like no more than 200. Excuse me. And last month I accidentally slipped and said I was, you know, how much I was getting, you know. But yeah, like when I got the $300 from last month's AdSense payment, it went towards me getting a hotel room plus deposit and like a meal or two, and then I had to buy me some hygiene items, and you know, I had to get me some socks and like underclothes and stuff, like new pairs of underwear, socks, and I forgot what else I needed to get, you know. But I didn't get to get the sweatpants and the coat, but with the Social Security check from this month, I got the sweatpants and the coat. I mean, well, I'm just waiting for it to come in the mail, you know. Yeah. So, excuse me. So, I mean, as I said, I was able to just get one night of hotel plus um had to pay the deposit, and then yeah, I did um get a little bit of I did get a little bit of I bought a couple of things here and there from Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, whatever, you know. But I had to get me some more lavender oil because, yeah, I'm not gonna say why, but I try to keep lavender oil, try my best, you know. But the stalkers, you know, I had some lavender oil in the bag that they stole from me, the orange backpack that they stole. Um, you know, so the stalkers lie and said that I'm a perp and that my backpack was red. No, my backpack was orange, and it was new, and they stole all the contents in that whole bag. That morning of the court, and then they illegally swatted me with the police later on that evening. So, you know, they keep on. I mean, so like when I tell people, not all the time, but I've had a few times when I tell people that, you know, I don't get the AdSense payment until later, you know, if I get the jewels, the gifts, the super chat, they don't come until the following month on the 21st, between the 21st and the 25th. And so then, you know, people get mad and call me ungrateful, falsely take me the wrong way and falsely saying that I'm being ungrateful and just want instant gratification, like the stalkers smear campaign, and falsely make it like Candy thinks she's entitled to everybody's money and she get mad if you tell her no and this and that, and they're like, oh well, she you know, she just wants instant gratification and this and that, whatever. And they have people that, you know, playing games with my survival. You know, if I could work, I would be more than glad to. You know, you see the type of quiet it is right now, aside from me talking. That's the type of quiet I need, type of quiet environment that I need to live and work in, with my disability and everything. You know, but dealing with the gang stalking, you know, the stalkers, they try to deliberately create disruptions and try to stop you from living, stop you from working. And when you're targeted, they force you to have to depend on others for survival. And other people see you as a burden. I mean, all your family cut you off, abuse you, call you crazy or whatever. You know, so that's why I try to redirect people to the used to be Citizens AHT website, and then they changed it to targetedhumans.org, and it seems like that website got shut down too. But I got the archived versions of the websites where people can look, and I could show you how they're sabotaging and how they dismantle the life of a targeted individual in the way that they're slowly stripping everything away from us in order to ultimately cause our demise or death. And it's like they're not shy about, you know, my demise. So if the stalkers smear campaign maliciously, they don't even have false assumptions. It's like they know what they're doing, and they maliciously and intentionally saying what they know is false about me. You know, so if I would have been a satanic sellout perp, I would stop talking about the targeting, and they would stop attacking me, you know. But, you know, it seemed like when people tell you to ignore the stalking, it seems like they're trying to train you to sell out, train you how to be a sellout. Because it's like everybody has a breaking point, and everybody has a moment when they had enough and fed up. And certain professed targeted individuals, it seems like, you know, if they have certain days that's worse than others, you know. So I have to pee again. And it's just, I know it's the fluid in my legs, and I know it's a lot of this from directed energy attacks. And they're trying to cause forced urination, you know. So, yeah, last night I had I guess the bacon. I don't know if it was a double or single cheeseburger, but I don't even like bacon, but it had bacon on it. I'm like, this burger's small. But it was a small burger, fries, and I got the Frosty and the 4 chicken nuggets or whatever. And later on, I had some apple cider, my own apple cider that I got from the store. Um, I had some apple cider, and then later on, I took my shower. It's like, wow, a lot of brown dirt came off my body yesterday when I was taking a shower last night. And then I went to bed last night and I closed. It's like I wanted to do a video last night, but I couldn't. And it's like my body forced me to shut down and fall asleep. And I must have been very, very tired. And I slept so hard that I slept so hard last night that I realized I was talking in my sleep, which I never really do. And it was the beginning stages of me falling asleep, and I found myself talking in my sleep, in which I rarely, I don't even really be the type to talk in my sleep. And I fell asleep and slept so hard. And then I woke up, it was 3:38 in the morning. I had to go to the bathroom. And then I woke up, it was like 5 something. I had to use the bathroom again, and then 6, and then 7 something. So I think I woke up before 8 o'clock. It was 7 or 8 something this morning that I woke up. No, it was like 7:53 this morning that I woke up. Then I went down to breakfast, and then I did a couple other things, and then I came back up. Now, when I went down to breakfast this morning, there was a fake perp couple directly next door. They were an elderly white couple, male and female, and it's like they didn't even go down to breakfast, but I think they were going to do something else. But they walked out of the hotel room door at exactly same time that I walked out of the door. And I know it wasn't a coincidence, and they're next door to me. Right next door to me. Now I'm holding the phone with my right hand, and my fingers on my right hand are trying to be numb. They're starting to feel numb. So, yeah, so they have people that about like the YouTube super chat and stuff, wrongfully mistake me for being ungrateful and entitled or complaining and stuff. They take it as me complaining when I'm not complaining. I'm saying for informational purposes, like for information, so that y'all can know that I'm saying that I don't even say in a complaining tone of voice or nothing, but I don't know why people wrongfully mistake me for complaining when I say I don't get the YouTube AdSense payment until, the following month on the 21st or whatever. And so, when I clarified with someone through email about the jewels and gifts and stuff, and and it's like, then I thought that person was trying to say the same thing like as the rest of the stalkers. I'm like, wow, did the stalkers get to you? Because like anybody is susceptible or likely to be compromised with selling out. Anybody. If they could get a target to sell out, what makes you think that they can't get a non-target to sell out? That nobody's invincible. Like anybody could be susceptible to selling out and joining evil. Like especially if they might try to threaten you and try to beat you into submission and try to threaten you, you know. So one thing, I'm trying to keep an eye on the time. Excuse me. One thing that I have to like work on is being like I know I've been still dealing with fear and being scared of people, you know. So I mean, they have had moments where if someone said or did something that I felt offensive, and if I asked that person, you know, why they said this or why they did that, and said, you know, it hurt me that you said this or you did this and that or whatever. Excuse me. And even in person, you know, if they think that if you know, someone said something that offensive to me, I mean offensive about me behind my back or to me, to my face or whatever, and I be trying to keep down confusion because I feel like I don't want to argue, I don't want to have confusion or whatever. But if I were to question or confront them, especially if they're like foster or biological family or any narcissistic abuser on the street or gang stalker or whatever, if I confront them, well, why did you say this or why did you say that? Or, you know, and then they will falsely accuse me of starting trouble, you know, or starting mess, you know, and then we get into an argument because if they might say something bad about me or falsely accuse me of something. So the day of the court date is like a good thing. Come on, man, it's loud ass truck. So like I just didn't want people to take me the wrong way or misinterpret me about the YouTube super thanks, the super chat and stuff. Like, as I say, y'all can still donate if you want to, but I mean, it will help, but it will help later on, you know, when I finally get the YouTube AdSense payment, you know. And I think the reason why I got $300 last month, I think it was, or was it the month before? You know, they had the lady that donated $100 to the super chat. Well, she didn't know, I guess. And I don't know if she quit supporting, if she thought that I was being ungrateful. I wasn't, but I was trying to redirect people if they could donate to CashApp, PayPal, or Venmo, and I could get the help I could get the help instantly, you know. And so it's like a lot of people, they hear the lies from the stalkers and feel like if they see one thing that it's like the stalkers, what they do is they try to get my supporters, they try to create doubt. They try to get your supporters to doubt you. If you're targeted and you have supporters, the stalkers will spread their lies, false rumors, and smear campaigns, which is narcissistic abuse and the abuse by proxy and the flying monkeys or whatever, and their cult, you know. They will try to, you know, manipulate people with their smear campaigns, try to plant seeds of doubt to make people doubt the target. They already try to falsely convince everybody that you're a bad person who deserves to be punished from society, that you're an all-around just horrible person, and they stalk and harass you and try to get rid of you, and they don't even have any facts or evidence of the stuff that they're falsely accusing you of. And they maliciously twist and alter the truth and turn it into a lie, and then try to pass their lies off as truth and evidence and proof, and then get people to believe them so that they can, as long as they're winning souls for Satan and the satanic kingdom and the kingdom of darkness, and they even lure Christians, well-meaning Christians, who would end up being deceived to join in this evil. So you never know who would be compromised nowadays, you know. Even me, I gotta be on guard to, you know, make sure that they don't try to trying to compromise me, and I keep fighting against them. You know, I'm not letting myself be brainwashed and deceived. I'm trying my best to keep fighting against the stalking cult because they want me to be part of them too. But I don't want to lose my soul behind them and join their cult, the cult of sickness and evil. So they try to get people to they try to plant seeds of doubt in my supporters. So like, good thing I didn't notice the email until after I got out of court. Because if I would have gone into court, I was already mad going to court. And if I would have been upset, about that, and then go into court being upset, then, things probably would have been worse, So, good thing I didn't notice until after. Now, I was afraid to confront the person about, the way she emailed me. It sounded like as if she believed the stalkers and thought I was being ungrateful and, trying to insinuate that. It sounded like she was trying to insinuate that, like, it's because it seemed like she was trying to throw it in my face about how, other homeless people, they don't get this and they don't get that. And she's trying to make it like they were worse off than me. And like, as if I have it too good and my struggles are not that bad. And I felt offended by that email. And it's like, I thought that she, I didn't think that she flipped and became a perp or turned against me. But it's like, it seemed like as if she believed their lies, or it sounded like she was trying to call me ungrateful about the YouTube, the information about the AdSense or whatever. Like even tonight, if I were to live stream and someone were to donate to the SuperThanks, like, was today December 7th? Well, any payment through YouTube today, it will not go. I will not get that from this week. I will not get it until anything between December 1st and December 30th. December 31st. December 1st and December 31st, I don't get anything from the YouTube AdSense payment until the following month. Like January 21st. So, but yeah, it seems like the jewels and stuff, as far as the regular, the AdSense payment, it seemed like within the past couple of months, the payment started to go up some. But for multiple months, I have not been able to live stream as much, and the payment's been only $118 or something. And that would be like barely enough for a hotel room and maybe only one meal, and that's it. So, so like, I would like, as I said, the lady said that I took her email message the wrong way. Because it sounded like as if she was trying to say that well, you have, you get your social security check, you get the AdSense payment, you get this payment, you get that, you get donations, you get this and that. But with the YouTube AdSense, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. But then, as I said, they're slowly but surely starting to increase. And so like, the message she sent made me start to question that, oh no, she's starting to think what the stalkers think about me, or it's like, oh, she's starting to have the same opinion as them. It's like, if so, it's like I didn't have the guts to confront her, because as I said, I was, afraid of how she might respond to it, but based on me dealing with other people in not I'm not saying she's a narcissistic abuser or anything like that at the moment, but like certain people that if I ask them that like their interpretation, were you trying to say this about me or whatever, and they go off on me, so for me to be afraid of how they might respond or whatever. But so it's like, so she said something about, well, I don't have the message directly in front of me, so I'm trying to remember as best as I can. She said something about that the homeless women in the shelters, that they don't get AdSense, they don't get YouTube, they don't get Social Security, they don't get payments, they don't get this, they don't get that. And she said they don't get much of anything, and they just living in the shelters, and some of them have children. And she's like, well, you get this and you get that and you get that. She's like, well, be glad that you get at least getting something. So it sounded like it's just she was trying to be smart ass and say, well, be grateful that you're getting this and getting that. Like narcissistic abusers throughout have said stuff like, be grateful for this, be grateful for that, or you're ungrateful for this and you're ungrateful for that. And it's like, when you're not even trying to be ungrateful, or they falsely accuse you of being ungrateful and complaining about something when that's not your intention, and that's not what you're trying to do, So like it sounded like she was trying to attack me in that email. So, I was afraid that she might have been hostile if I would have asked, well, were you trying to say that are you trying to say I'm being ungrateful? Or are you trying to say that I have it too easy, or I have too much when you see what I'm going through? And I was afraid that might have sparked a, argument or whatever. I didn't want for us to have an argument or be on bad terms or nothing, but I was afraid to even do a public video about it, and I was afraid to afraid to ask her directly about what she meant. But then but I did a general rant video about people in general, because I got attacked on Thanksgiving by at least 2 people trying to falsely accuse me of being ungrateful on that day, and it wasn't her. It's like, well, wow, why is everyone trying to, So then, so I was trying to, let me see what time it is. Damn, I got like 14 more minutes to talk. Well, maybe, was 11:26, time is going by, but I guess at 11:45, I gotta, pack up and leave. And I'm trying to hold my pee in at the moment because I'm trying to not forget what I have to say. So like if it's like nighttime or whatever, or it's raining and cold, I try to get help for funds that night, and I try to redirect people. Sometimes they catch me off guard and just donate to the SuperThanks, and they might donate $20. I'm like, yikes! Oh man! I'm like, well, I was trying to, Sometimes they do it before I could say anything. I know they didn't know, and it's not their fault, but I try to redirect people to donate to the CashApp, PayPal, or Venmo, or even the Ko-fi, because I get it instant, because they have some people who don't have CashApp, PayPal, or Venmo, but certain people who ask me, do I have Chime and Apple Pay, and do I have Zelle, and do I have this, and do I have that, and I don't have Apple Pay, I don't have Chime, but I think I did create a Zelle account, but I don't want the stalkers to know my email connected to the Zelle account, because then they would really destroy me, and that's directly connected to my bank, so I really cannot give out the email for Zelle. And I do not have Apple Pay, but I have Google Pay. I guess I have Google Pay, but nobody ever really paid me on Google Pay, but on Google Pay, I have paid certain things, on Google Pay, So like if I'm trying to get help for dinner, or if I'm trying to get help with Cash App, help with hotel or whatever, it's best um, to send it through the Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo for me to get the help that I need, suffering with this homelessness and forced targeting, the forced homelessness and targeting, And so, the stalkers, they try to manipulate my supporters against me and try to falsely make, they have succeeded at turning people against me, and like certain people, they might have a certain personality or demeanor that I'd be afraid to ask them about certain things, or due to my own upbringing, the traumatic upbringing and the narcissistic abuse and the cult that I grew up in, I still have communication problems and problems with asking things or saying things or clarifying things, and I suffer reading comprehension and listening comprehension problems, probably because of the 2 strokes I had when I was 5, so sometimes I have to ask more than once for clarification, and people get frustrated with me when I try to ask for certain things, or they just avoid talking to me, even in person, so, but I didn't want to be on bad terms with this person. Like, she said I took her email the wrong way and that I misinterpreted her email, and I apologized to her about that. And I did a video, and she thought that the video was all and completely about her specifically, and it wasn't. But I was upset because I thought that she believed the stalkers. I didn't think she turned into a perp, but I was upset that she believed this. It sounded like she believed the stalkers falsely making it like as if I'm ungrateful and complain and have too much or have it too good, and that I'm not suffering that bad. And that's what I thought she was trying to say, and it seemed like, and then it's like, well, I took her email the wrong way, and I did a video, and I felt bad. It's like she took my video the wrong way. And she's like, well, if you think I'm fake and playing both sides and this and that, whatever. I'm like, wait a minute. I was talking about another thing. We're talking about fake TI perps playing both sides. I talk about them all the time. You're not in the TI community, so I wasn't talking about you when I talk about fake TI perps, fake targeted individuals that are perps pretending to be targeted. I'm talking about them playing both sides. I wasn't saying you're not targeted, you're not in the TI community. So she thought that I was attacking it. She thought that whole video was about attacking her, and it wasn't. And it's like, well, damn, this is either witchcraft, the stalker's doing witchcraft, or mind control, or witchcraft, or whatever, to manipulate for me and my supporters to be at odds with each other, So, like, I was upset that, I thought she was trying to say that I had it too good, and that I'm ungrateful and this and that, whatever, And then she falsely accused me of saying that, oh yeah, you said that you were she said that you told me that that you were afraid to confront me because you didn't know how I would respond, but then you said in your video that you were afraid that you would lose supporters. And I'm like, I'm like, wow, you misinterpreted me again. So I don't know if it seems like she's officially done with me now, but she said she's not mad, but she's hurt. But I think that she was trying to do like a personal jab at me by saying that, But she misinterpreted what I said in the video, I was saying that I was giving an example about how and she never did this. She never played games with me before, so I wasn't directing that at her, But, I titled the video about, the stalkers getting people's head about me. And I was, frustrated and venting about that. you know, and I was frustrated and venting about, you know, stalkers getting in people's head about me, you know. So, but she thought that the entire video was me talking bad about her, and it wasn't, you know. But I'm like, it was multiple people lately trying to falsely accuse me of being ungrateful, especially on Thanksgiving Day. And I posted the community post about the picture of, you know, the event or whatever, and the stalkers themselves were attacking me and stuff. And then there was another person said, well, at least you got to eat, or something like that, you know, or at least you got, I'm glad you got, at least you got something to eat, or whatever, you know. So, but, you know, there was another homeless person that was at the event too that said, well, that he didn't get any turkey either. But he said, well, you know what, I ain't tripping. And I felt the same way, you know. So I wasn't even, you know, I wasn't even trying to, like, say in a complaining way, well, like, oh, I'm mad that I don't have turkey or whatever, you know. Or if people think that, oh, Candy's being childish and petty and complaining about not having turkey or this and that, whatever, you know. But then, you know, the stalkers were attacking me, talking about me going to a 4-star hotel. Well, it wasn't on purpose. I mean, a lot of the other hotels were filled up because, remember, that was a Bayou Classic weekend, and those were Black Friday sales, you know. And so the hotel that I'm at now, wait a minute, hold up. At the hotel that I'm at now, and the price I paid last night, even aside from the deposit, the price was more than, like, the price that I paid at that hotel for that night. It was Black Friday sale. So the hotel price for that night was like $98.25 for that night, and then I got the deposit back the next day. It was a $50 deposit back. I got it back the next day. But if it wasn't a deposit, it would have been just $98.25 total price. So, you know, damn, it's 11:36, but I'm gonna talk for 9 more minutes, then get off. I'm gonna talk till this says like 2 hours and 20 minutes. You know, that's what I'm gonna talk. Then I gotta use the bathroom, and then I'm gonna pack up and leave. But I'm gonna need help for more hotel nights. So, I mean, as I said, the stalkers, they won't allow me to, even when I was in Pensacola, Florida, I was saying that the stalkers won't allow me to be anywhere for too long. Like, they won't allow me to live anywhere for a certain time. They won't allow me to go to a restaurant for a certain time, or they won't allow me to work anywhere for a certain time. It's like eventually they will run you off from wherever you be at and keep you on the run. So that's why I cannot have permanent housing. I'm disabled, and I wish I had more experience with certain jobs, and even if it's online, trying to figure out what I could do, and they sabotage everything, you know. So, like, yeah, so I apologize to the person, and that person has helped me out big time, you know. I apologize for the miscommunication, and I felt like I didn't want to, quote unquote, throw her under the bus or attack her, you know. And I didn't want her to feel unwelcome in my community or my chat or my live stream or whatever. But she have said certain things that made me feel like hurt or offended or whatever. But yesterday she told me that she was not upset, but she was hurt. But it seemed like she was trying to say certain things to, like, get back at me, you know. So, like, when she tried to misinterpret, I don't know if she was trying to intentionally and maliciously lie, or if she was really had the wrong interpretation, that she falsely assumed that, oh, you said in your video that that if you were afraid that if you would have confronted me, then you would lose supporters or whatever, you know. And it's like, I was talking about, I said in the video, I said that how the stalkers would play games, not the supporters, but I'm talking about the stalker perps, that they might send me $41.33 playing games with the numbers, and then falsely, and then if I say something, if I point that out that they're doing that, then the stalking cult will get people to think, oh, she's ungrateful or whatever. And I said, well, if I were to accept $33 of payment and say nothing, then people would think I sold out. And I said I would lose support either way, and that's what I said. So she falsely assumed, and I don't know if she was maliciously lying or if she wrongfully, mistakenly falsely interpreted that I said that, oh, if I confront her, then I was afraid I would lose supporters or whatever. And I did not say that, I didn't say that in my video. So, I don't know if she was, if she said she was like hurt by me because I was afraid to ask her about something that she said that I felt hurt by. So she said that I took her the wrong way because she said, be glad that you're getting this and you're getting this and you're getting that and you're getting that, and other homeless people don't get that. And I took it to offense because I'm like, oh wow, do you think the same thing the stalkers feel, that I'm not suffering that bad and that I have so much good things that I don't deserve it and that I'm unappreciative and this and that. I'm like, oh, this is what you're trying to think? I'm like, what are you trying to say? So I was afraid it might have turned into a nasty argument. And that's why I was afraid of, I was afraid that she might have got hostile if I would have asked her, what does she mean by that? But, well, because y'all see what the stalkers be trying to lie and say, maliciously, intentionally trying to lie and say, but this person had told me that when she first started supporting me that I accused her of being a perp. And it's like, wait a minute, I don't remember that. She's like, yeah, but she didn't give me an example or tell me why. Like, because I really don't remember. But I do remember, well, I better not say it. But, yeah. But it's like, there was one time this person was in my live stream. It was like 5 something in the morning, and I was depressed about the jail and court date. And she was, asking me about mental health and trying to say I should see a psychiatrist and take medicine for the depression and all that. And she said, and like, that made me, I didn't call her a perp then or nothing, but that made me, raise suspicion. And there were a couple of times it seemed like she defended the perps in certain scenarios, against me, in certain situations. And it's like, well, wow, you must not be targeted. But like, for the first few months of her talking to me and coming to my chat or whatever, she would ask me certain questions about the targeted individuals and the gang stalking and whatever. But when I would try to, give her links to research, like, she would have a lot of questions to ask about me and my targeting and stuff. But when I would give her links to research, I understand she might have certain things she's going through in her life too. But when I would try to, give her certain links where she could research about the targeting, I felt like I was being ignored. When I would, or it seemed like if I would talk, she would come in a live stream, and when I would be talking about what the stalkers are doing, she would feel like she gotta go or exit in the live stream. Like, as if I mentioned gang stalkers, then she gotta leave the live stream. It's like, I don't know if she thought I was just being negative, but they're constantly attacking me even when I'm not doing anything, And I don't want, as I said, I don't want her to, I don't think she's a perp intentionally, and I never took her as one to be playing games like the stalkers actually do, But you see how they got Mr. Rodney to turn against me, and he betrayed me without warning. And they said with this targeting program, one of the biggest things is betrayal trauma with suffering the gang stalking, when you have your support to betray and backstab and turn against you at any given time, especially without warning, and when you're at your lowest, So, you know, well, if I took her the wrong way, if she wasn't trying to call me ungrateful, then I apologize, for the miscommunication and the, and I hope I try my best to clear myself up. Clarify, but it's 11:44. It's about that time for me to get off the video and go and pack up and leave. And I need help for hotel nights tonight. Even if that person doesn't help, I hope that other people can help. Because like when she threw it in my face trying to say, oh, you said that, she said, oh, you said that the real reason, you said that you were afraid of how I responded, but you said in your video that you were afraid you would lose supporters. It sounded like as if she was trying to falsely interpret that, Candy just want to use people. And that's not the case. So it's like, that sounds like, when she threw that in my face, it sounded like something the perps would do. Like misinterpreting me like on purpose. And she said, well, I can't talk right now, I'm hurt. And I try to talk things out and stuff, and it seemed like, I don't know if she was misinterpreting me unintentionally or taking what I said the wrong way, or if, I don't even know if the stalkers got in her head. Like, but she told me that she would never sell out or never join them, but if you don't sell out and you don't join them, and the stalkers, they come and attack y'all too, So, and it seemed like she would say something like, talking like she cares and support me, and then like the last paragraph, it seemed like a subtle, oh, they freaking hitting my throat with the weapons, causing me to cough. It sounded like subtle version of like trying to tell me off about myself, But the stalkers want people to falsely be convinced that I'm just a bad person that's using people, I'm lazy and don't want to work. And the thing is, I don't want to just sell out and join their cult, and so they're preventing me from living like normal. So they keep sabotaging me. They're trying to murder, sex traffic and stuff. And this is very serious, So I was wondering who. Well, I'm pretty sure there are things worse than, I don't know, I guess worse than being a targeted individual. But being a targeted individual and suffering gang stalking is pretty bad, that people keep constantly attacking you, stalking, following, and harassing, spreading lies, having you wrongfully kicked away from society and stuff. And, and, I know that, I know some of y'all have other things to do, obligations and stuff, but you don't have to. But I'm just like asking, can y'all please like further do research on this targeting program, so that people could be more aware. I have the links in the description box, and I had to update the links in the description box. So click on any random regular video, even click on this video, and look in the description box, and you can read for yourself what they do to us targets. All right, I gotta get off here. It's 11:47. I love y'all, and I need any and all the help I could get. I need help with more hotel nights too. They won't let me have permanent housing or a job, and no matter what city, state, and country.